I'm Chad Sparks in the community, and today we have a special treat. It's very rare that I get to come into a building this nice, by the way. This is amazing. We're going to shoot every In the Community video right here in this room. It's rare that I get to come in and interview a published author. We're going to get to this, I promise. This is Krista McBeath. And Krista, I'm going to make sure I get all these titles right because you do a lot of things and you have a lot of gifts.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, you do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I do wear a lot of hats here.
We know. And everybody in the community is going to find out today. We're going to know exactly what you do. So, Krista, you're the president of McBeath Financial Group.
Correct.
We've known each other a long time.
We have.
Okay, and we actually came in, so folks, if you're watching this and you're saying, how do they seem to know each other so well? You brought me in, we did a video together in your office. I'll never forget it. I thought that was so much fun, and I said, we have to return the favor.
It's probably still on our website.
Okay, so now you're going to have a second video on your website.
Probably.
Backdrop better. This is a better backdrop, so this is great. Yeah. So we're here today because, and Krista, you do so many things in the community. You help people, and this is the reason we go out to meet individuals like you, because we want to learn more about the skills that you possess and how you share those with the people in the community.
Thank you.
So we know, I mean, we come into this facility, now I'm used to it, but you weren't always here. This was kind of new to us when you moved, and tell me about that.
Yeah, so we used to be right down the street, about a block down the street across from Sherman's. And back in 2017 or 2018, I lose track of time.
Me too.
That happens. We purchased this building here and we renovated and we moved down here. So now we are directly across the street from Portillo's. So
I was going to suggest
we didn't move
this.
Very far.
Yeah, if you want to find this place, and I know you will when we're finished, just look for Portillo's. It's like food and then finances.
Or Los Potrillos.
Okay,
right?
yeah,
if you
that's
like
right.
Mexican.
Yeah, there you go.
We're a big fan of that.
Yeah,
yes.
See, this is why we're here. We talk about food, we talk about financial services, all right, all the good stuff. All right, so this is where they're at, and again, we're grateful to be here. You fascinate me because you do so many things for families. We talk to people who come in and say, yeah, we know Krista, she's helped us tremendously with our finances and with financial planning and so on. I want to touch on those things. You, again, you are a wealth management firm.
Correct.
All right. For a lot of people, they might say, well, that sounds great, but I don't know what that means.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, yes, because that term can be used very widely, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, McBeath Financial Group is a registered investment advisor. So we are an investment firm, but we like to refer to ourselves as wealth managers because we do so much more than just invest for our clients. So we are financial planners. But that is also a term that can be thrown around very
We've
very
heard
widely.
this,
Correct.
sure.
Yes. So I would say to our clients, we have a very unique skill set. And so we do holistic planning. So yes, we manage investments, but we dig a lot deeper for our clients. So we are looking more for just them managing their, more than just managing investments, more than just telling them whether or not they can retire and not outlive their money, but really digging in, looking at comprehensive tax planning, tax strategies to really help them increase their wealth over their lifetime, hopefully saving money in taxes, thereby creating more wealth, which often has a residual benefit for their family, their loved ones, or their charitable causes.
When we talk to you, there's this level of conviction. It's like, are we doing the right things? Do we need to even look at this even further? Because I know you're the expert, and so many people would say we need an expert. We don't know how to manage this, and especially in the time frame that we're in. I'm guessing you're hearing a lot about this.
Yes.
Okay, so when people come in, and especially when they're looking for a financial planner, someone who can really help them, and they come in and they seek your services out, and I know they do, what do you feel like, Krista, is the number one reason or the number one thing that brings them to this beautiful office?
A lot of people who are seeking us out are in a position where they are aware that they are going to run into some problems later in life with taxation and some other issues that start to arise when they get hit with having to take distributions from their retirement accounts. But what we typically find through that planning process is that they have no idea how bad it's actually going to be. So most of the people that come in have a pretty good idea of the things that think they should be concerned about. They might think that they're doing a pretty good idea of managing their wealth on their own, but through this process, we're able to open their eyes to all the things that they don't know. And we should be able to. Like, that is our profession. We are professionals in this area, and we should know more than they do.
Oh, that's a great point. And that helps because, again, so many times people will try to navigate these waters in a ship that can't sail.
Yeah.
You handle investment strategies, you cover tax strategies, and you just mentioned that. And that's important because a lot of people, I think, are in that position, especially when winter hits. It's the reminder that tax season is coming, right?
Yes.
Never a fun time. All right. And then also, you help families. This is big for us.
Yeah.
You help families because we do too. Calvert and Metzler Memorial Home, all about family, all about community, values oriented. You're the same way. And I think that's why we had such a strong partnership, is because we kind of look at things the same way. You help people with their future and their legacy. And I need you to maybe touch on that.
Yeah. So we do that in a lot of different ways. So obviously the planning that we do, typically, first and foremost, when people come in, is they just want to know that they're going to be okay, that they and their spouse specifically are going to be okay in the event of a premature death, right? There's changes of income in the household, typically pension and Social Security change. So typically their primary concern is for themselves and their spouse, right? And then it can kind of expand from there. So if we've shown them they're taken care of,
there it is.
Then we can build up on that for their children and their loved ones. Or sometimes we have clients who don't have children, but they have causes that are very important to them. And if we can help show them how we can save them money over their lifetimes and also create more for the causes that they're passionate about, it's a win-win.
Your business is growing, and I have to do this. I mean, this is kind of my shout out to your husband, Robert, one of my favorite people. I love the man, and so he gave us a brief tour. And I know that your building is expanding, right? So that's something else. But tell me about your growth. What do you attribute it to?
So over the last several years, we have strategically made some changes here within the firm as far as our areas of focus. So I think that has had a tremendous impact on it, but we have also been very blessed over the last several years to have been voted the #1 with Pantograph Reader's Choice for financial planning and investment firm.
Every year?
Yeah.
I don't know that you've ever missed a year.
I think for the last 4 or 5 years, Robert says 6 years, so I lose track.
6 years.
So
are you running out of wall space? Like finally you're just going to say, we just can't put any more up.
I have plaques that are not yet hung, let's put it that way.
I love that.
So that has helped, and then word of mouth referrals, and I think just the level of planning, and I think people have just become more concerned about their money and the changing tax landscape. Back in 2019, there were some big changes that happened that changed how people's retirement accounts actually pass down to their children and how they're taxed. And it's been a huge concern to people, big concern for us as planners. So we've seen, I think, a lot of planning and people seeking out wealth management revolving around that as well.
It makes sense, and especially when we consider the fact that, I mean, we talk about changing landscape. You're growing here, but everything's changing in the world, and especially from a financial viewpoint. And so I think having that advocate, that person that says, yeah, we're aware of it, we already know about it, because I'm guessing people would walk in and say, have you heard about this? And you're the one that says, I already knew about it.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. You know, what we try to impress upon people is we build very robust plans that look beautiful on paper, and we can present and show people the value in them. But the second we build them, 2 months from now, they could change drastically because tax law changes or something else changes.
By the way, Krista, everybody who's watching this right now, their heads are nodding.
Oh,
They're saying, no, we agree.
Yes. So, so what we try to impress upon people is it's not, we're very relationship driven. So we're not
really.
I know,
I
right?
never knew that.
Right?
No, I joke. No, that's what brings us here.
Yeah. So when people seek us out, we are looking for people that want to work with us for the long term because last year we have a major employer in our community, as you know, and there was something that happened to a lot of employees there in terms of one of their investments that created a lot of tax impact for them that undid a lot of the tax planning that we had rolled out for our clients last year. So every year, even though we have a long-term tax strategy for our clients, every single year we have to go back and reanalyze. And honestly, we pivot almost every year based on the tax landscape. So it's our existing clientele keep us very busy because we are always having to pivot and adjust based on what is going on.
The landscape's always changing.
Yeah.
We see this in our industry. We understand that, and as a matter of fact, we host seminars talking about that. One thing that's really interesting, and our worlds intersect. They and I don't want to say they collide, but in a way they do, because we know that oftentimes people are going to come see you at a time when they're grieving.
Yeah.
They've lost a loved one. They don't know what to do. Maybe they don't have a good grip on their finances or a really good understanding of it. They come in to see you, and you kind of sort out all of that amidst the fog of grief.
Yes.
You've written about this.
Yeah.
You have a passion about this. I got to ask you about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, and ideally, that is something that I would like to help people avoid.
Yeah.
So, we see a lot of people who are coming in before anything that could go wrong does. And we know in life, something always does, right? The inevitable always comes. So ideally, you want to plan for these things ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So we see a lot, and we plan for that for our clients. Another time that clients seek us out is maybe when something is a little bit more imminent. I met with a client last week who's been diagnosed with cancer, and so he, not necessarily that it's terminal, but again, they just want to review everything and make sure that everything is in order. But it's another great time to review those things. And then the harder part is when someone has lost somebody and they're having to make decisions at a time when, quite frankly, that's the last thing they need to be dealing with. Making those decisions when you are grieving is hard, and quite often, a lot of times, maybe it's one spouse that has maybe handled the financial affairs, and a lot of times they're just kind of left in an upheaval, and now they're seeking somebody out that doesn't know anything about them. Or their affairs, and trying to piece it all together.
It's the serious side of our businesses. Yeah. It's what we do, and that's why we get that. We talk about we're locally owned, we're family operated, we're values oriented. That's kind of what we do, and we know that at that time we understand that our expertise has got to be in that particular area. Yeah. You do the same thing, and you come in when they're struggling, when they're grieving, when they're hurting. I think it's important for the community to know that you have that at your disposal. You have that. You're able to help those people. And I will tell you, you have a huge heart. This is something that's very dear to you, I know. Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen you. I've seen you respond to things like that. And I again, it just creates that warmth and kind of knocks down a lot of walls, I think, that are out there, because I think a lot of people come into a financial situation and they say, I don't know. Can I trust this person? Can I really get on board with this person? Krista, it's easy to do with you.
Yeah.
All right. So we cannot end this without talking about the book. It's the book, which, by the way, I've read the book. I was actually so excited when I received it, and I said, that was my first order of business, by the way, was to read it in its entirety. I did. Loved every part of it. Yeah. It was very helpful for me. So I'm going to hold this up. We have props.
Beautiful.
So this is called The Generational Wealth System, a holistic approach to preserving your wealth and legacy. And I'm going to hold this up. Tell me about, I've never written a book.
Yeah.
I read a lot, but I couldn't write one.
Yeah.
Tell me what went into this.
So that was really a labor of love, I think that I would say. So we are very good about putting out educational content and newsletter and blogs, and ultimately we cannot help everybody that we would like to be able to help. So we thought, what better way to kind of consolidate and put something in a book? So the thought processes, some of the systems that we use, and the way that we help people, we consolidated into a book. There's a lot of great stories in there. It's a very easy read.
It was a great read.
Yeah, it's a great read. Probably the stuff that most people would have got really bored with, where it would have got really analytical, would have been the tax piece. I could have written a whole book on the tax piece, I think. So it's not real tax heavy, because honestly, that's our job,
Yeah,
right?
In fairness, I found it to be interesting,
Yeah.
and of course, maybe I'm
Yeah.
strange that way, but
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting and
Yeah.
engaging.
There's a lot of great personal stories in there. One thing I will point out about the book, several months ago, I had a gentleman call and he said, I read your book, it was a great book, but I'm not sure we're a great fit, because one of the things that you talk about a lot in the book is the generational aspect and planning for the children, and how this is really what drove your passion for the book. And that's not really our passion. We want to, and we actually have this a lot. People, we want to enjoy life and, spend every last penny. And honestly, the people that we plan for typically probably aren't going to spend all their money if they tried.
Sure.
But I just reiterated to him kind of what I said to you in the beginning. Our primary responsibility is always to our client, to improve things for them, make sure that they're taken care of, make things better for them. And it is the residual benefit of making things better for the people that they care about. And you really can't say no to that.
There were some accolades. Like, I remember when this came out, I was so
Yeah.
excited. I thought, I know a published author. It felt so good to say that. But
Yeah.
it was an Amazon, Amazon bestseller.
Yeah, we did hit Amazon bestseller, I think the first week.
That's a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it is on Amazon for purchase, but honestly, if you call our office and, I think that they should have to mention Chad Sparks, but
Oh, heavens.
yeah, if you call our office and mention that you saw this video on the Calvert Metzler website, we will actually send you an awesome book package that will actually have a free book in it, along with some other really awesome goodies.
We've never done this before, so this is unusual. And by the way, that was not planned until just now?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's right off the cuff. So that's what we do. So here's your chance to get a free book. You watch a video, get a free book, and by the way, it is generational. I mean, this will help you in generations beyond. And so well done on that. With regards to this, I want to make sure that everybody understands. Obviously, you have a website, very functional, very easy to use.
Yes.
And that is McBeath, and that's McBeath, McBeathFinancialGroup.com.
Correct.
A lot of good stuff on there.
Yes.
If you say, we want to call, we want our book, we would love that too. 309-808, and then 2224, 309-808-2224.
Correct.
Okay. And I want to say, as far as coming out and doing it in the community, spending time with you and Robert, always a blessing for us and for our business. We love working with you. And at Calvert and Metzler Memorial Home, like we always say, it's always about family, community. We say, in fact, our thing is we care about family, we care about community, and we are values oriented. That's critical.
Yes.
That brings us together for several reasons,
Yeah.
because we know you are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Krista, thanks for inviting us into your expansive, beautiful office.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, what a pleasure it's been, and we've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a day that was really anticipated. And again, if you're watching this, just remember, we're going to do this one more time. You can actually get your free book, and again, simply call 808-2224. That's area code 309-808-2224. Get your free book, and also you can learn about the many facets of financial planning that you do, and you do it well.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all that you do in the community as well.
Well, on behalf of Calvert and Metzler Memorial Home, thank you so much for tuning in. Our friend Krista McBeath and her wonderful family, including her husband Robert, tremendous people, do an amazing job serving the community and working in a field that you are considered an expert in. And I'm telling you, it's not just us that says this. A lot of people say this. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks for having us. And again, make sure to check out this great book. It will help you in so many different ways. And on behalf of Calvert and Metzler Memorial Home, have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you the next time in the community.